Hey folks, imagine you're standing in your backyard, looking at a pool that's been sitting idle for a few weeks, and you're wondering whether you really need to pour a bunch of chlorine tablets, risk that strong smell, or just upgrade to a salt system that promises set-and-forget convenience. I've been in that exact spot lately, weighing the cost, the time, and the little headaches that come with traditional chlorination, and I wanted to break it down for you before you make a decision that could end up costing more in the long run. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the Pentair 523744EC IntelliChlor LT15 is not a brand new, standalone unit. It's a replacement salt cell and power pack designed to slip into an existing Pentair IntelliChlor setup. That means if you already have the Pentair EC520888 IntelliChlor IC15 or any of the older power centers, you can drop this module in without tearing apart the whole system. For people who have already invested in a Pentair automation rig, that modular compatibility is a big win because you avoid the whole replace everything expense. The system handles up to 15,000 gallons, so it's comfortably sized for standard in-ground pools ranging from 12,000 to 18,000 gallons, which covers most residential installations. Now, who should actually consider this upgrade? If you already have a Pentair control panel and you're looking for a smoother, more responsive chlorine generation that doesn't require you to manually adjust the output, this is a solid fit. The SmartSense technology monitors when your pump is off and intelligently scales the chlorine production so you're not over-chlorinating during off hours. That translates to fewer chemical spikes, a more stable pH balance, and less wear on pool surfaces. In a typical summer week, that could shave off a few gallons of salt usage, saving you a little money and reducing the amount of residue you have to scrape off the pool walls. For homeowners who are already comfortable with Pentair's app and want a plug-and-play upgrade, the LT15 feels like a natural step forward. On the flip side, if you're a brand new pool owner who's never used Pentair's ecosystem, you might want to pause. Because the unit assumes you already have the matching power center and control board, you'd end up buying a whole suite of components to make it work effectively, turning a simple upgrade into a full-scale system overhaul. In those cases, you could find a more integrated salt generator that includes its own controller, which would be a cleaner, potentially cheaper solution. Also, if you have a smaller above-ground pool or an inflatable pool that's under 10,000 gallons, the 15K capacity is overkill and you'd be paying for features you'll never use. Let's talk about real-world daily usability. The LCD/LED interface is front-faced and bright enough that you can glance at it from the pool deck while the sun's beating down, and it offers built-in diagnostics that point out when the cell needs cleaning or when the salt concentration is out of range. I've seen owners walk past the panel and not even notice the warnings because the icons are clear and the text is large. That level of immediacy reduces the guesswork phase that many pool owners dread, where you're constantly testing water with kits and adjusting chemicals manually. With SmartSense, the system automatically reduces chlorine output when the pump isn't running, which is a practical advantage during cooler evenings when you might run the circulation for just an hour or two. The result is a more consistent chlorine level without you having to think about it. A practical weakness that shows up in the field is the cell cleaning routine. Even with SmartSense, the salt cell will accumulate calcium deposits over time, especially if your water is hard. The process to clean it involves removing the cell, soaking it in a mild acid solution, and rinsing it thoroughly, a chore that can be a bit messy if you're not used to handling pool hardware. Some users report having to repeat this cleaning every few weeks during the peak summer months. If you're not comfortable with that routine, you might find the maintenance a bit more demanding than you expected. Also, while the modular design makes replacement straightforward, it also means you have to source the correct power pack that matches the cell. Mismatching these parts could lead to error codes that are not always self-explanatory. Another real-world consideration is the salt level itself. The system expects a certain range, typically around 3,000 parts per million. If your pool is already on the higher end of that range, you might need to partially drain and refill to bring it down, which is an extra step that new salt system owners often overlook. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a hidden trade-off that can catch people off guard when they first install the unit. In my experience, taking a quick water test before installation saves you the surprise of having to do a big water change later. Where does the value really come from? For most users who already have a Pentair automation setup, the LT15s